Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yesterday I was telling you about how in this world there are dualities. Dualities means two. Sukh, dukh, shita, ushna, man, apama, jai, parajai, la, bala. We always get these things in two. And one side of duality is enjoyable by us, other side of duality we don't want. Like we want sukh, we don't want. We want man, we don't want apman. Now, why do these dualities exist in this world? There is one reason for that. In the spiritual world, there is only bhavavriti. Bhavavriti covered by bhogavriti, enjoying mentality. So, to the proportion we have bhogavriti, that much we get the other side, which is dukkha, or apaman, or parajay, alabh, all these things. So, the goal of human form of life is to increase the sevavriti and drive out the bhogavriti. That's the goal of life. There is also another reason why the dualities exist in this world. When we turn away from the Lord, it is like turning away from the sun. When you look at the sun, there is no shadow. When you look away from the sun, there is shadow. Janasya krishnat vimukhasya daivat adharmashilasya sudukkitasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardhanasya. That verse says, Janasya krishnat vimukhasya, when the janta turns away from the Krishna, which is vimukha, it is said, then they become adharmashilasya, become sudukkitasya, they become miserable. So how can we become susukkitasya? Anybody knows the solution? If you are Sudh, become other because of Krishna Vimukha. So how do we become Sukhitasya instead of Dukhitasya?
The Lord.
By facing the Lord. Yeah, if you look at the sun, no shadow. Look. As long as I am looking at the Lord, I will always be Dharmashil. When I look away from the Lord, I am Adharmashil. For example, we travel from India to America, but we were traveling with the sun. If you are always with the sun, will there be any darkness? No. That is why we started in India at daytime, we ended here in daytime again, because we are traveling with the sun. Similarly, if you travel with Krishna, every moment, every day, every month, every year, throughout, then there is no possibility of any Maya. In this way, the second component of the duality which we don't like, if you want to get rid of it, the solution is this. Like we say, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai andhakar, yahan Krishna taha nahi, Maya radhikar. Now, this is the reality. At the same time, in conditioned stage, we are unable to appreciate this reality most often. Although Shastras say this, that if one takes to Krishna consciousness, it is like nectar. We at least heard it. Neshye bhavad gunakatam mritapanamattaha. Dhruva Maharaj is saying that, my dear Lord, you have come here to give me darshan, now you will fly back to Vaikuntha, then how can I remember you constantly? He says, Bhaktim muhu prabhahatam paime prasango bhuyadanantamahatam amalashayanam enanjasa ulbanamuru bhavatim neshye bhavad gunakatam amritapanamattaha. He says that your guna kata amritapan, that gives me the strength to constantly remember you. But who will do that for me? He says that Bhakti Muhu Prabhatam Tvame Prasango. Keep me in association of devotees where I can always hear your glories, he says. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Tvad Virya Gayana Mahamrita Magna Chitta. My chitta is magna in your Virya Katha. Like that he is saying. Therefore I am very happy. That means these people are all deriving some great delight in the Virya Katha of the Lord, Leela Katha of the Lord. Like you all know that 4 Kumaras, they went to the door of Vaikuntha, isn't it? And the Tulasi Makaranda entered their nostrils, isn't it? At that time, immediately they fell in love with the Lord, and there is a verse which says, Tasyaravinda nayanasya padaravinda kinjal kamishya tulasi makaranda vayu antargate vivrena chakaratesham sankshopam aksharajusham apichittatanvo. So their body trembled in ecstasy. Tears welled up in their eyes, and they immediately became great bhaktas. They were earlier Nirvisheshvadis. They became Bhaktas. So which means, what makes these devotees blissful is the personality of God Himself and His qualities, His abode, His activities. Anything related to Him is very attractive. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Pratidivase Paramasukhe. He says in that famous song, he says, Madhavatiti Bhakati Janani Yatane Palana Kori Krishna Vasati Boli Parama Adare Bori Gaura Vigita Kirtana Shuni Gaura Vigita Kirtana Shuni Kridaye Anandena Chase. Similarly, he's saying that Mridanga Vadya Shunita Mana Avasara Sadaya. He says, in Krishna consciousness, everything is beautiful. Just now we heard him play Mridanga, how beautiful it was. How songs are sweet, Mridangam is sweet, Prasadam is the sweetest, isn't it? The darshan of the deity who is decorated very gorgeously, beautifully is very attractive. And the philosophy is very attractive to the mind and intelligence also. And the association of devotees is wonderful. Therefore, once one of the Mataji's disciples of Prabhupada made one item and then gave it to Prabhupada. Prabhupada put in the mouth and said, "What is this? It is so wonderful," he said. She said, "This is the recipe with which I made. No, we don't know what is the name ourselves," they said. And Prabhupada said, "You can call it?" Simply wonderful. Simply wonderful. And then Prabhupada said, "Look at Krishna, how wonderful he is. Look at Radharani, how wonderful she is. Look at his devotees, how wonderful they are. Look at his abode, how wonderful it is." And then he said, "Madhuradipater Akhilam Madhura." Everything about the Lord is wonderful. So, when the jivas get an access to the Lord's nature, abode, His activities, pastimes, His devotees, in ISKCON is an extension of the spiritual world. When we come here, we can understand the big difference between the outside life and the ISKCON life we can see. The outside, what people eat, all kinds of purposes, they eat crabs and fishes and meat and everything. They make the stomach, abode of the carcasses, isn't it? Whereas devotees eat pure prasad. And devotees wear pure dress. They have the pure mantra. They wake up in the pure time of the day, which is Brahma Muhurta. So it's very wonderful, it's very tasty. Nevertheless, in this material world, although everything is wonderful about the Lord, still the living entities have the old tastes of Tamaguna and Rajaguna. Tamaguna and Rajaguna, and they refuse to come to Sattva very easily, even though it is so wonderful. Therefore, in this world, the four real problems of life are kept: birth, old age, disease, and death. And also 6 whips are kept. What are they? Kshut, Pipasa, Kshoka, Moha, Jara, Mrityu. Kshut means hunger. Pipas means thirst. Jara, old age. Mrityu, death. Shoka, lamentation. Moha, illusion. So these are all kept in this world. Threefold, Trividha Tapa is also kept. What are they? Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika. So why? For example, say you are in a forest, there's a mango tree, look at the mango tree and say, "Oh, nice mangoes are there. I wish I get these mangoes." Simply wishing will not good. You have to climb up the tree. And you take some effort. But sometimes we are not enthusiastic enough to climb up. But there is one very easy way for you to climb up the tree. If a tiger comes. Correct? Isn't it? You will climb at any cost. Otherwise you will say, "I think it is too high, I can't climb." You will be saying. Once tiger comes, somehow you will find a way to climb. That is why there is attraction of the spiritual world, there are dangers of the material world. Both are kept so that the jiva can get attraction to the Lord and the devotees. Generally you see people come into our communities when there is some trouble in their life. That is the time they come and say that, that we just have some shanti. And they come. And then from shanti they attain prema after that. So, when we are chanting the holy name daily, we should know that sometimes your life is going to be very comfortable here in this world. But other times the life will not be comfortable. It's like a wave in the ocean. Sometimes the ocean is calm, sometimes there is storm. But in spiritual world, the life is always very peaceful and blissful in the presence of the Lord. And even if anxieties and all may be there in Yashoda, that anxiety is for loving Krishna and serving Krishna only. Nothing like the anxieties of this material world, which are very horrible. So, the Devatas are praying to Lord in the 5th canto, and they are saying that, "My dear Lord, we are not able to remember you in the heaven because of too much comfort. So America is comparable to heavenly planets. Because you will find that here, the lifestyle, you are close to nature, your America population is less, but country is bigger size than India also. Here you have 20 crores, India has 150 crores. India is smaller country, America is much bigger place. So people can have a very good facility, lavish facility, money, comfort, eating, everything. So in a country like this, if one can be Krishna conscious, it is a big achievement, we can say. Because generally the jiva becomes forgetful when he has comfort. Because the devatas are saying, Na yatra narayana pada pankaja smriti pramushta atishaya indriya utsavat. They are saying that smriti pramushta, our smriti becomes bhanga. Our remembrance of Lord is affected because of excessive sense gratification, they are saying. Atishaya indriya utsavat, they are saying. So in the 5th canto they are saying this verse. So therefore what are they praying? They are saying, Na yatra vaikuntha katha sudhapaga, na sadavo bhagavata sadashraya, na yatra yagnesha makhama hotsava, suresha lokopi navaisa sevyatam. They are saying, in a place like heaven, where the yajnas are forgotten, worship of the Lord is forgotten, utsavams are not celebrated, Lord is not remembered. We don't want to remember and remain in the heaven, because sometimes even Indra becomes forgetful. We want to go to earth, to Richmond, where devotees are gathering together, where they are chanting the holy name, where they are putting up festivals, they are eating only prasad, and they delight in spiritual life. Like that they are saying. So even devatas are aspiring to come and take birth in Kali Yuga on earth, because they know it's a crash course. Only how many years maximum? Maximum 100 years. In 100 years you can go back to Godhead, whether they are living for lakhs and crores of years. So they say, what is the use of a lakh years in forgetfulness? It's better to live in 100 years in remembrance of the Lord and go back to Godhead. So what devatas don't have, we have. And what we have to cherish it and hold on to it and perfect our life and go back to Godhead. So a devotee means we should do both anartha nivritti and artha pravritti. Anartha nivritti means all these dangers of this world, we can get rid of it by giving up the anarthas. So, and all the attainment of the spiritual world can be attained by the chanting of the holy name. Because chanting of the holy name is like a lotus. When it blossoms, the fragrance and honey is available in the lotus. Similarly, within the Naam, the Dham is there. Within the Dham, the lotus feet of Krishna is there. Where there is called lotus feet of Krishna, everything is there. So, one should chant the holy name with that aspiration to attain the Lord's lotus feet in eternal service. At the same time, one should always be aware that I can't coast along in this material world, because life will not always be comfortable. Sometimes it's comfortable, sometimes it's miserable in the material world. It's like fire and smoke coming together. Both are there in this world. But therefore he says, Padam Padam Yatpi Padam Natesham, he says. So Bhavam Buddhir Vatsa Padam Param Padam 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 Yatpi Padam Natesham. If you take to devotion service, the vast samsara will become like a puddle of water in a hoof print of a calf. But if we don't take the devotion service seriously, the vast samsara will drown us. And then we'll have to be born again and again like that. So devotee should have fear of Maya and attraction to Krishna. Both are required. That's why Krishna is saying, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya. Be afraid of Maya. Understand, Maya is very dangerous. If a devotee is not sufficiently afraid of Maya, then devotee can easily fall down breaking the regulative principles. And second line he says, don't get too frightened also, because Mameviye Pravadyante. Don't fear Maya too much. You have to have healthy fear of Maya, but I am always there for you. If you remember me, I will uplift you and take you back home, back to Godhead. So the morning program is especially for increasing our remembrance of the Lord. The Mangalarti, Narsingarti. Mangalarti is to express gratitude to Acharya and our Guru. And Narsingarti is for protection and purification. Tulasi, watering the Tulasi is for getting residence in Vrindavan. And chanting of the holy names to cleanse the mind and the heart, isn't it? Gradually blossoming the love of God which is hidden in our heart. Hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam is Hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidhunoti surasam. So all the abhadras in our heart and lives will be destroyed. So the power-packed succession of spiritual programs, the morning should be taken to our hearts. Now many of you have come today, but we want to see the entire Richmond's congregation one day coming for the whole morning program. So if everybody say 100, 200 people come, That will make a big impact in the entire nation of USA and the world. So in this way, morning program, we take it seriously. Then we can begin relishing the sweetness of spiritual life. And then we will understand how the jiva souls are suffering in this world, and we can also help them from our side. So all of you repeat this. Be cautious of Maya.
Be cautious of Maya.
And conscious of Krishna.
And conscious of Krishna.
If you keep these two things in your mind, you can go back to Godhead. Like Jadabharata was cautious of Maya. Prahlad Maharaj was conscious of Krishna. So remember these two great characters. Always be cautious of Maya, conscious of Krishna. Then the chanting of the holy name is for getting clarity to do these two things effectively. Harinam Prabhu ki, Namacharya Das Thakur ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.